energy savings, and reducing global warming. With the forecast rise in sea levels, part of Samsø could be swallowed up by water.
At one point, it was said that the problem would be there in 3 to 10 generations, but we're already facing it. We have small children, and I'm worried for their children.
In the space of 5 years, we became neutral from a carbon emissions point of view. We have created jobs and earned money and still do. We must act and not just be all talk. That's the key, actions, not words.
You need the courage to act.
That's right.
It's really important that we take a proactive rather than a reactive response, because the need for a post-growth, post-fossil fuel economy is huge, but it's not going to happen by accident. But it's inevitable that that will happen. But the degree to which we've started to prepare for it, it will massively increase our chances of it being successful.
So investing by local communities in local energy projects connects people to what they're doing and provides secure sense of an energy future. And even it provides also financial returns at the local level as well. So this idea of relocalization of energy, as with food, is the foundation for a post-growth society.
Samsø's success can be summed up in 2 key principles: the local and the collective ownership of renewable energies. All the wind turbines on land and sea belong to public structures like the local authority, or to small groups of local shareholders, or to cooperatives. Jørgen heads an owner association of 10 offshore wind turbines. The largest cooperative has 330 members, one of whom is Inga. She invested 6,500 euros, which she recouped after 9 years. Members of the cooperative come from Samsø as well as from the mainland.
The main motivation for entering the project is out of concern for the environment. By investing, the members want to actively reduce Denmark's CO2 emissions, and at the same time, nothing against making a good deal, thanks to the money invested in the project.
We have to tackle problems locally. As we realized, it's extremely difficult to change energy production from the top.
That's true. The important thing is that we have done it ourselves. It wasn't the big companies that came to build the wind turbines, but us, a small group, and we didn't hesitate to take the plunge, to believe that it was feasible.
Samsø's 4 urban heating systems, which all use renewable energies, also have pooled ownership. Merita heads a cooperative of 286 members, which has installed a collective boiler that supplies heating and hot water. It burns 1,600 tons of straw a year, delivered by 6 farmers, including the ubiquitous Jørgen. All the members of the cooperative have not only substantially reduced their ecological footprint, but also their energy bills, which have been halved because the cooperative, of course, is a not-for-profit association.
The fact that we've created this plant on a cooperative model has attracted great interest, not just in Denmark, but all over the world. Because it's not very common to run a heating plant without seeking to make a profit.
And being member of a cooperative means that you are more concerned by energy and so?
Yes. We're more aware of the energy issues, as we co-own the installation.
Energy democracy is the watchword of the Samsø Energy Academy, which opened in 2007. Today, the Academy receives numerous international delegations seeking inspiration in its collective and cooperative model, which has been the success of the island's energy transition. For its dynamic director, Søren Hermansen, changing the economic paradigm involves reappraising what used to be called the commons, collective spaces and assets that everyone could freely enjoy until they were privatized in the 17th century.
Energy in its origin form, I think, is a common. I mean, energy doesn't belong to anything. Anything comes from nature. The commons was a very valuable part of society in the old days because everybody needed to be connected to the commons and have access to the commons. Otherwise, it would be very hard to survive.
Before the Enclosure Acts and before the appropriation of nature's bounty by private interests, every community had a commons where everyone was entitled to draw the benefits. For example, in a wooded area, everyone was entitled to chop wood for fuel. Everyone was entitled to gather the nuts and the fruits that grew. Everyone was entitled to graze their sheep on the common pasture.
We need to think about commons again and to redefine commons or define new commons. So for example, the atmosphere, which was not traditionally thought of as a commons, is now a commons. And we have mismanaged the atmosphere because we have allowed anyone to dump pollutants into the commons. And we need a process for managing the commons at a global scale. It's a very important economic concept, and it's one of the key concepts of a new economy.
Welcome to Kathmandu, one of the most polluted cities in the world. In 30 years, the population has increased 7-fold, now reaching 1,500,000 inhabitants. Most are peasant families who have fled the poverty of the countryside. The Nepalese capital has today been devoured by chaotic development in the image of the sacred river Bagmati, which has become a foul rubbish tip. Here, everything is a struggle. Housing, food, and electricity, which is cut about 10 times a day. Yet, despite the chronic political instability, the government is carrying out an exemplary renewable energy development program. Entrusted to the Alternative Energy Promotion Center, the AEPC, the program is being driven by a team of young executives trained in Germany who have also understood the urgent need to change the economic paradigm.
This marks the formal inauguration of this international seminar. It's a time, ladies and gentlemen, when we need to revamp the innovations in the renewable energy sector. Microhydro is one of the most successful alternative energy projects in Nepal. Thank you, our distinguished guest. May I now invite to the podium Professor Dr. Govindaraj Pokhrel, Executive Director, AEPC.
If you see the greenhouse gas emission data, I mean, we are not the polluters. So if you compare United States, Canada, and Germany and other countries, and if you compare Nepal and Ethiopia, we are far less. So per capita consumption of greenhouse gas emission is, I mean, almost insignificant. If you see the vulnerability due to climate change, our Nepal ranked at 4th level. Because of the global climate change, Nepal will suffer, whether it's in temperature rise or glacier burst or snow melt. Next. There are also heavy rainfall reported in Nepal. This year also we have many disastrous effects.
There is a saying that if you travel in a wrong train, it is always good to stop when you know it. So don't travel further. So we already travel in a dirty path. So now our responsibility is mainly to shape the planet because we cannot buy another planet. So let's involve communities from the beginning and convey them message. We need to promote renewable energy. This is the right solution for you and your son and your granddaughter and so on.
Today, 25% of the Nepalese budget goes to importing petrol. In this country nestled in the heart of the Himalayas, electricity comes mainly from hydroelectric plants, which supply the cities. It is difficult to transport power to remote mountain parts where 80% of the population live. Yet Nepal is now coming up trumps, bringing light to the entire territory with 100% renewable energy and a zero-carbon development, which is permeating the entire local economy. After a 2-day car journey, this is a district of Kandibas, located 350 kilometers from Kathmandu. Its 4,000 inhabitants can be justifiably proud. They are totally independent from an energy point of view thanks to a combination of micro-hydroelectricity and biogas. And of course, Kandibas too has its local hero, Dil, an English teacher who studied and worked in Kathmandu before coming back to his native village to take part in the development of his community.
Why renewable energy is very good for environment?
यसले वातावरणलाई प्रदूषण गर्दैन यो नवीकरणीय ऊर्जा एक ठाउँमा उत्पादन गरिसकेपछि तारासम्म पुर्याउन सकिन्छ.
So because of this electricity, what changes you have noticed in your life? What changes?
We are watched TV. For we are watch computer.
Yeah.
Rice cooker.
Rice cooker.
Mobile charge.
Mobile phones. Okay, you charge mobile phones. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr.
Until 2009, the inhabitants of Kandibas had no electricity. They sought the assistance of the AEPC to build a micro-hydroelectric plant named Dharamkola after the river that crosses the village. The project was entirely conceived by the community in collaboration with a local NGO. The government supplied 30% of the necessary funds for construction. To be connected to the network, each family had to supply 2 months of work in kind and a financial contribution of 8,000 rupees. The rest of the financing came from a collective loan.
Dharamkola micro hydro project bhन्छ.
The whole community owns the Dharamkola plant. Everybody worked together to build the canal, the building, and carry the equipment and pylons. The community is fully responsible for its maintenance. That way the project is more sustainable.
The project has created jobs and has increased the income of the families. It has also brought economic independence to the entire community.
What should be the role of the government?
You see, government is a paper tiger. It should work on paper and create an environment where end users, consumers, private sector, civil society, all stakeholders can come together and find right solution, because without participation, development is not going to sustainable and there is no ownership. From the social perspective, people are empowered to manage their own development.
Legally, the micro-hydroelectric plant belongs to the Users Committee, which numbers over 300 families. During its general meeting of 2013, Dil, the committee secretary, announced some good news: the end of repayments of the collective loan taken out 4 years earlier.
All our expenses and monthly income are written down in this document. Each expense entered corresponds to a bill. At any moment, you can check the bills or any other item. You have a right to